that my phone or was that yours?
No, those are mine.
Must be you, mate.
I just put mine on it.
All right. 3. Dean, count me in.
5, 4, 3.
Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
And I'm Pete.
We'd like to wish all of our listeners all around the world a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. It's that time of the year where things are a little bit better. So, Dean, we have our Christmas special, and we have a little bit of news to catch up on. Last week was our award show, and we couldn't have picked a better week for the award show, frankly. It was a really slow 2 weeks worth of news. Our show sheet today is very, very bare. So we definitely picked a good week for the award show. And before we get into the news, Dean, we have a very special segment that all of our best shows start with. Would you like to kick us off?
Yeah, you guys ready?
Yes.
It's new
this week.
Again, it's hard to do it over StreamYard because there's a bit of lag.
A little bit.
But yeah, what you gonna do this week? I got this bad boy right here over my left shoulder here. It's my right, but on the screen it's left. But it's the Hot Toys, The Force Awakens, Luke Skywalker.
There we go.
Which I picked up in the nick of time.
Very much so.
When with the release of the Rise of Skywalker, so super happy with it. Actually, I picked them up at the award show.
Yeah, Greg and his wife Rika were there, and in the chat you were like, "Don't forget the thing," and you're like, "If you forget it, the deal's off." And I was like,
"Yeah, because he's really."
You're talking about the tacos. I was like, why would you not come if he's not bringing tacos?
No, because he's really forgetful. He's done that like a couple of times with Zach or Rainer. Where
I was like, he's never forgotten.
He's supposed to sell something to Rainer, and then we get to wherever we're going. He's like, "Oh, I forgot it." It's
shit!
So it's like, you better not forget, or like that's just the universe telling me that I shouldn't have it. So.
Dude, picked it up in the nick of time. We're not going to get into the Rise of Skywalker spoilers, but Dean, that figure goes for quite a bit these days on the eBay.
Yeah. But I also picked up a Hot Toys Wonder Woman. That was a few weeks ago. I don't know if I've talked about it yet.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Again,
the BVS one.
It is the BVS one.
I've got that one. Yeah.
I have the armored Batman, and most people were saying that the actual Wonder Woman movie one wasn't as good, so I just went with the BVS one, or not the Justice League one. Sorry, not the Wonder Woman movie.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I went with that one. It was like $175 shipped, so I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. So,
yeah,
not bad.
So those are the only two things I got.
Real quick, we got KJ Smith in the chat says, "Yo, sup peeps." One of our Facebook users says, "Greasy out of Skywalker's second viewing." Let us know who you are in the comments, and then Noble Young, as per usual, is in the chat.
Hey, what up?
Pete, did you get anything new this fortnight? I guess new this week, since you're on the American side of things today.
Yeah, much the same as what I chatted about on OFAC. Mainly, just I've finally got my Bespin Escape Leia looking crispy. I've had a figure for a long time. I'd picked up a spare Hoth suit, and I had some boots that I painted, some black boots that I painted. So, and I had like a knockoff, A New Hope sculpt that I think it was like one of the Fire Toys or something like that. I'd kind of jigged the hair, so it looked okay, but I was never that happy with it. And I was always had my eyes on the Bespin Leia head when that figure came out, and obviously that came out a couple of weeks ago. And I thought, those heads are going to go for a lot of money. And we've got a guy in the UK, Craig Gann, and he kind of, I don't know if he's complete living, but he basically parts out a lot of figures. So I messaged him and said, "Oh, are you going to get this figure? Because I really want that head." And he's kind of like, "No, I don't think so, because I don't know who's going to buy the dress on its own. There's not a lot of accessories with it and everything." So I was like, "Okay, all right." So I went ahead and ordered the figure from Tim Cent 88 on his website. It was a good price. It was about £158 shipped.
It's not bad.
No. And I thought to myself, well, I'll get the figure. If I like the whole figure, I'll keep it. Blah blah blah. Or I just, I'll take my chances and try to sell the bits. In the meantime, literally a day later, Craig's like, I'm going to get one actually. So,
God damn it.
so I said, right, I'll take the head anyway. I think it was about £65, and I
Yeah.
thought I've got options then because I've got the head that I need, and if I want to keep the other figure, I can keep it. If not, I'll sell the whole thing. So in the end, I basically sold the figure the next day for what I paid for it. So
nice.
Yeah.
so it worked out well. Yeah, and I'm really pleased with it. It looks really good.
Yeah.
I've just rejigged my Empire shelf around a little bit just to kind of put her up front and showcase that. So
Have
yeah,
you
that's
posted pictures of that? I don't.
yes. I haven't put it on the. I'll post one on Ox. Yeah,
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I had a slide on the OFAC one.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and then I've started work on my Lego UCS Batmobile.
Hell yeah.
So that's my kind of Christmas present to myself. So
Nice.
I'm off for a few days now.
Are you gonna use light up Lego on it?
Yeah. I've just been.
Rainer was quite impressed with your.
Yeah, with your Falcon.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, no, I've just trunked through some of the lighting. So yeah, I'm trying to get hold of. They do a switch, so I want to do it so that when you slide the canopy open, the lights come on in the canopy as well.
Oh, nice.
So those bits are in the post. So that's it for me. Yeah.
Pete, unrelated to the toy thing, how has it been for you being a part of the network and being on OFAC for about, I think, like 4 months now? It's been about 8 episodes.
Yeah.
How do you like it? You guys are starting to settle in a little bit and getting
I'm
comfortable
absolutely
with
loving it, mate.
podcasting?
Yeah, really enjoying it. Yeah, I think it's great. It's a nice way of kind of chatting to like-minded people because you guys are quite lucky that you've all kind of met each other and you're actually
we're pretty
local enough
fortunate. Yeah.
to be able to meet up. Whereas, I mean, Ian's not a million miles away from me, but it's nice to be able to kind of find people you can chat with, and also to kind of, hopefully give out something back to the community with, our advice or just kind of our passion for the hobby, really. And it's also great to kind of listen to, actually get to talk to people that I've been chatting to on Facebook Messenger for years. Ian, Steve. We've got some other guys lined up, hopefully for the new year. So it's quite nice to actually, finally get to talk to them. So yeah, no, it's brilliant. I think, thank you for the opportunity to kind of join the network. And
yeah, it's good to have you guys. You guys put on a damn good show. I haven't gotten a chance to listen to your last episode, but I'm very excited to do it.
The mighty Dean join us for the spoiler cast.
I jumped on for the spoiler.
That was good. That was good.
For the bonus episode.
Yeah, because I was watching it anyway, and I was like, "Wait a minute! Like,
why don't I just jump on?"
Yeah, that was good,
dude. No one told me. No one invited me. That's cool. We have Fernando and Dan Lee watching as well. So it's been a pretty good week for me. My Ironmonger, I did order it. Checked the tracking this morning. It'll be in tomorrow.
Wow,
the guy must have shipped it like a 2-day or priority or something because he shipped it Friday or maybe even Saturday. And it's going to get there on Monday. And we've had a porch pirate in our neighborhood lately. So I gotta be Johnny on the spot when that bad boy gets delivered because that is pretty pricey. I picked up a Grail of mine. I know we talked Grails a few weeks ago, and this one was not on the list, but this is certainly a figure I've tried to buy twice from Buddy's Toys and Collectibles down here in San Antonio. And well, I did get this figure. It's not the exact one he had in the past, but it's the Iron Man Mark II Unleashed. The Mark II Unleashed is an older figure. It's about 6-7 years old, and frankly, it looks comparable to the diecast Mark III, and it's a little less shiny silver than the diecast Mark II. But for my collection, I really wanted to I really like the Mark 47, how it has the empty helmet feature where you can display it when Tony was accessing the suit remotely. And I like that. I think that's really cool. And the Mark II Unleashed allows you to do that. And it also has separate legs and multiple different panels you can take off to basically show all the intricate details of the suit. And that's something that I've been after for quite a while. And Buddy gave me a pretty good deal since I was picking up this guy here, which is the KBB I think it's called the MP21 Plus is what they call it. And this is a knockoff of the Takara Tomy MP21. And I've had a really stressful week with the show, the award show, just some different life things, doctor's appointments, and just lots of things that have happened, some good, some bad. And I jokingly refer to this Bumblebee as my emotional support bee because I brought him to work every day and have him in my car and I'll mess around with him. And it's just been a really, a really kind of crazy week. So it's been good to have this figure, and I liked it so much. Like I said, I got the Takara Tomy thanks to Dean. Dean hooked me up with a Christmas gift and helped me get that figure, and I got it for like a steal. It's like $21 on eBay, which is it's like a $66 figure.
Yeah.
So it's been a pretty good week. There's one purchase that I'm considering. I got a bonus from one of my clients yesterday. And Sideshow has a $25 off on Kylo Ren TLJ. And they're also doing free shipping. And Sideshow, for whatever reason, doesn't charge tax to Texas, even though legally I think that they should be charging tax. And with my $108 of RP plus my bonus, I could basically get Kylo Ren for like $4.
Nice.
With all the different discounts and everything. Unfortunately, they all stack now, which is something Dean had told me about in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I think the costume is similar enough to the TROS Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
The cape has obviously the little hood. I don't even think he wears the hood with the mask in the movie.
You never see it with him.
And you do see it in some scenes, but he's never has it on. So
Yeah.
I'm only going to ever look at this figure from the front, and I'm only going to ever display it unmasked. So I am like this close to pulling the trigger. I know if I buy it tomorrow,
If you could get it for $4,
I'm tempted
I
because
don't know if hyperbole or
because I'm looking at some
$4, I would get it.
No, literally like my bonus plus the rewards and the different coupons and everything. We'll get into it a little later, but I just really liked Kylo in this film, and it made some of his other downfalls in other films a little easier to swallow. And I'm not waiting until Q2 2021 for the Rise of Skywalker one. I'll just buy the cape separately and the mask separately, worst case. But I'm really thinking about pulling the trigger. I mean, I know I was talking to Dean last night, and I have, like I said, $108 of RP. And the only thing that really remotely interests me is the 3A Optimus, the 3A Blitzwing. But since I'm getting into the, I got this Bumblebee, I got the other Bumblebee. KBB also makes a really accurate, tinier Bumblebee, which is it's sort of like a new version of like the original 80s toy. And that's like $6-7. I picked up 2 of those. I think I'm going to just dedicate that little quadrant of my collection there to just Bumblebee stuff. And if I start adding Optimus and Blitzwing, then the shelf, these other Bumblebees don't have a home. So a nest, if you will. Fernando says, don't waste your RP on Kylo. And Sean Fear says, Rise of Skywalker is boom, second viewing. Mervin says, what's up, guys? I'm just last year I had $100 worth of RP, and I bought the King Kong statue. I loved it. I sold it to get the some other figures, and usually about this time of the year I always have about 100 RP. So it's kind of burning a hole in my pocket, and I'm just trying to really maximize my spending potential with the different discounts that they have. So
if you used all your discounts to get the Kylo for $4, anything you sell it for is now a profit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Even
if you change your mind on them,
you're like, I want to sell this figure for. You could sell it to someone else for a really good deal at $120, and that's $120 in your pocket.
That is true.
So
yeah, and these RP are just these RP. I should mention, none of which are from a purchase. These are all from Spooktacular, from Geeksgiving, any sort of anything. Like none of these RP are rewards points that were earned from a genuine purchase. So you're right. This is a true potential to buy something for just a few bucks. Well, let's get into the news. Like I said, it was a very, very slow news week. But we have the Remnant Stormtrooper. So this comes in at $205, releasing October to December 2020. This looks like a repaint, or I guess like a reissue, resculpt, repaint of the Rogue One armor. I will say the undersuit maybe looks a little bit different in the elbows, but that could just be the picture and the angle. The weathering is obviously quite heavy here, as indicated in the show. 205 seems like a good price until you realize that the Return of the Jedi Stormtrooper was 180, so I'm not really sure what they're doing to justify that extra $25. But the big thing, in my opinion, the biggest thing about this pre-order is you see here the Beskar Mandalorian in the front of the frame. So I imagine that we will see this figure re-released, or not re-released, but a 2.0 Mandalorian down the line. What do you guys think about this figure?
The Stormtrooper?
Yes.
Easy pass.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone who wants troopers has troopers. And at this point, also has a pick of the litter.
Yeah.
So at $200, it seems kind of like steep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Considering it's a very specific look to the trooper.
Yeah, the ultra weathered.
Heavy-handed weathering, I think, as well.
Exactly, because you could kind of futz a Return of the Jedi in with a New Hope shelf. You know, they're not as shiny, but they look decent enough that if you put them in the back, you don't notice. These motherfuckers are like way too
hella dirty.
Yeah, it's like, what do you even
chocolate
do
chip stormies?
Now, I mean, it's cool for someone who does like toy photography. You know, throw a few of these in with a short trooper in the back. You know, that looks kind of cool.
Yeah,
but at $200 a pop, it's like, I mean, no one's getting paid to take pictures. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just seems kind of like, I guess if someone really, really loves the Mandalorian, this is cool. But even then, when all the other troopers showed up, they were nice and clean. So it's like, you can just use the A New Hope ones or Return. So
I love the A New Hope ones. I've got a few of those.
Yeah, it's my favorites. Yeah, I have two of them. I got both of them from Zach, but both of them. This is just a huge miss for me, like all around. Any good I can think of, I can immediately think of a negative. So it's like,
I think they look good, but the thing is, if you're gonna put 4 of these on a shelf, Hot Toys weathering is extremely consistent. So you're gonna have basically 4 identically weathered troopers, and I think that in itself is an eyesore. I think this would have been good as a 2-pack with, let's say, a weathering and a B weathering figure, and then maybe released separately.
Yeah, you're right. Because I've got a couple of sand troopers, and they are, identical in their weathering. So you kind of have to try and I've got them posed sort of looking in opposite directions, so you kind of see, the left-hand side of one and the right-hand side of the other one.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. This to me is just awful. The Sith Jet Trooper and the Jet Trooper. Just without getting into spoilers, I just think the whole quote-unquote Sith Trooper thing is just so stupid. The Death Troopers are cool because they're totally different designs. If you're just going to take a normal trooper and Sith it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
These guys seems like a miss.
But the Sith Trooper, they look totally different. But this Sith
is just a repaint.
The exact same thing.
This is 220, releasing October to December 2020. I mean, it comes with cool guns. Don't get me wrong. I guess there is a difference here in the guns. The one on the right, the clean one, has like a triple barrel blaster, and these guys have like a carbine and a some sort of something or other. I don't know.
No, not impressed. I think we're going to be seeing these.
I think these are going to be in the bargain bin.
Yeah, exactly, like the Force Awakens troopers and stuff.
Dude, I want some TFA troopers bad now. I think
you can pick them up for like £50, 50, 60 pounds, or equivalent dollars. Then I've almost thought about buying one at one point, but then I don't know. I think I'd end up. I wouldn't have any other sequel figures, so I'd kind of end up passing it on anyway. But
Dean wouldn't even give me his trooper. He's like, nope, holding on to it.
I told my trooper.
Well, I asked for Finn. You said no.
Oh yeah, Finn. Of course not. Finn and Rey and Kylo are staying, but I said some Phasma.
Just give me Phasma. Okay, so Hasbro and Mattel came in big this week. I know we talked about Funko in the past, but it seems like the embargo for these toys to be announced has passed. We have an 11-inch vinyl plush on the left by Mattel. The right, we have I think it's a 12-inch vinyl plush from Hasbro. Both of these look okay, though. I really feel like these companies had no idea this character was coming because everyone's just showing digital renders.
Right.
No one's showing actual toys. Hasbro is also making a 6.5-inch tall child figure, which is roughly 1/2 scale, and a 6-inch Black Series figure. The 6.5-inch scale, or rather, the 6.5-inch tall is $22. Coming in May 2020, and the Child Black Series is $11. Really easy pickups here. I think I pre-ordered the Mattel, the Hasbro, and then the Black Series scale. I skipped the 6.5-inch figure. I don't really need a 1/2 scale. It's kind of a weird scale for me, but yeah, I'm all about this. What do you guys think?
Yeah, nice and cheap. Yeah, if they're not a good value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dean, are you going to pick up any of these? Or are you happy with the one that you have already?
I'm definitely gonna pick up something. I just don't know which. So
yeah.
Um,
And it's
like
important to note that some of the Hasbro ones appear to have like different accessories. The Black Series has the frog, the broth bowl, and then the little steel ball.
I can pretty much guarantee the Black Series is going to be too big.
No, it's only an inch tall.
Really?
Yeah, that's why it's only $10.
Because their Yoda's too big, and
because they're what?
Their Yoda is too big. He's like
no. This one comes in. I think it's like less than one inch tall.
I'll believe it when I see it because they are notorious for overscaling things or underscaling things. Like R2, he's too small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for how small this print is, and what Hasbro usually, comes out with, I could definitely see them making something bigger than this, unless this is incorrect scale.
No, I think the one that I gave you is exactly the size that Hasbro said they're going to make theirs at.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm excited.
According to what this Big Bad Toy Store listing says.
Yeah. I mean, either way, I'll pick something up. But
Dan Lee asked, "Do you think Hot Toys will make a 1-to-1 scale Mandalorian like Baby Groot?" I think it'd be interesting to see. I think Baby Groot was pretty easy because it's all sculpted material. I think Baby Groot, there's a lot of fabric there. I think it'll be interesting to see if they do that. Personally, I think it's a win-win. I can't see why they wouldn't make a $200, foot tall Baby Yodes.
Yeah.
I mean, the outfit's pretty simple. I'd buy the shit out of a Hot Toys Baby Yoda. 1-to-1 scale with a little bit of fuzz on the top. I'd buy that. A DX movable eyes. I'd buy that. This was an interesting one. Zeta Toys put out their ZV-01 Pioneer Bumblebee 165, released in Q1 2020. This is from the Bumblebee film. I think this is also from some of the Bay films. It's a thing. It transforms. It's beautiful looking, but 165 is quite expensive. That's more expensive than the 3A version. And I think if you're making a third-party knockoff, price is a huge deal. If you're pricing your third party more than first party figures, you have to be offering something. Like this bee that we spoke of earlier, my emotional support bee, is twice as big as the regular one and half the price. So if you're going 1-to-1 on the price and you're maybe, it's only 7 inches tall, so it's not even really taller than the other Masterpiece Transformers. It just seems like a miss for me on the price. I was all in. If this was $80, it's 165. This is it's going to be probably a pass for me, especially since the only real upgrade this gives me is the ability to transform and some extra weapons. And I barely display my Bumblebee with weapons. And I already have the Zeta Toys Bumblebee that I customized the car. That's a seamless, mold. It doesn't have all these panel lines in it, so. I don't know, Dean. What do you think about this?
I mean, it's pretty cool, but yeah, if you're a third-party company, you can't be charging the
first-party money.
Yeah, like that's the whole reason people come to you. Now, there isn't a first party option for this technically, if I'm correct.
I think there is. I think Masterpiece either is making or has made or plans to make this old school Volkswagen Beetle.
Because I remember there was one they were selling at GameStop. It was like 80 bitty, and it was like
Yeah.
$80.
Because I know they've made the Camaro already, so I can't imagine why they wouldn't make at some point the Volkswagen.
I don't know. This just seems like almost like a why at this point.
Yeah.
Again, just mainly because of the price. It's like, why would a collector do that to themselves? I mean,
Yeah.
it is very cool. It looks like it lights up, which I don't usually see on a transforming figure, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd rather have the 3A one and not have like weird panel lines.
Mervin says there is a Takara Masterpiece Bumblebee.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's just a weird thing. Dean, let's talk about this figure here, the one that you put up in the chat today, the Dark Toys Anton, which releases Q3 2020, coming in at 140.
Yeah, that's crazy. It kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like a gigantic fan of this movie or anything, but I mean, it's pretty freaking sweet. You know, if somebody really wanted this guy in their collection, this is a nice and seemingly cheap way of getting that done.
Yeah.
It's a funny figure because it's an odd film. It doesn't have an ending for a start.
I have not seen this film, to be honest. To be completely honest.
But it's been one of those figures that I don't know. You see these guys that got these really expensive custom figures. You know, you're talking hundreds and hundreds of pounds, and he's always been one that's everyone wants. And to me, I've got no affinity with the character or anything. Yeah, it's an odd one. I don't know why it's so popular, really. But a lot of people seem to.
Yeah, it's I mean, for me, it's an easy pass. Like,
yeah.
Why would I buy this? But I could definitely see why somebody would.
Yeah.
Decent amount of accessories.
Yeah.
2 head sculpts, $140. That's, I mean, and again, this is just like a preliminary shot of it. We have to wait till it actually comes out, but to see how different it actually looks. But I mean, it looks great. I knew exactly who it was supposed to be. And
oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Mervin says real quick, going back to the Bumblebee, says Zeta will sell to those that want the 3A style with the transforming ability. The majority of the Transformers community hates non-transforming Transformers.
Right.
So I'm looking at the MPM. It is a little differently styled. So yeah, it's the MPM 7, which is the Volkswagen that can transform.
I almost dislike transforming Transformers just because I don't really know which one to display. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've transformed this Bumblebee quite a few times, and it looks damn good in both modes. I gotta say.
It's kind of like catch-22. Like, oh, I could pose them like this, or I could have them like this. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I really like the 3A. It's like it's giving you, like, that's all you get, and at a fantastic look and price that it's like solve the problem for me. But I could see how like people would want it to transform. But anyway, speaking of this figure,
let's move on here. So we have the Comedian. This is
that's what I was gonna say. It's nice to see companies making figures that aren't fucking comic book movies or whatever. It's like the people that keep making the X-Men, or like every company coming out with a Comedian. It's just nice to see like a relatively old movie, like No Country for Old Men, get a figure.
Yeah,
it was just refreshing. That was my final thought.
Well, let's move on here. So the Comedian is newly released. It's coming out, I think, this week overseas due to the holiday. A lot of these are going out first week, second week of January. From the pictures, it looks really good. I don't know if this is the one to get. Obviously, it's $180 versus $80-$90 with some of the other options. But we'll see once once Toys R Us gets these into people's hands. We'll see what they say. It seems like a very fast turnaround, being that the Mystique is just barely getting released. But yeah, it looks really good. Speaking of Transformers, Soundwave and Ravage from the DLX line, I have not seen a price on these yet. I checked last night and I did not see a price on them, but it comes with, these are non-transforming, of course, but they look really good. And I'm curious to see how deep they'll take this line, because at this point, that's Optimus, Blitzwing, Bumblebee, and Soundwave / Ravage.
I think I need to rewatch the movie because I don't remember Soundwave.
No, he's just
in the beginning of the movie.
In the beginning, and I absolutely love Soundwave. His voice is just amazing.
Yeah, dude, I need to rewatch this movie. It's friggin' amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And does the cassettes go into his chest? Do they?
There was just a few.
Not?
No, this does not transform. This is the same.
Does the Ravage though, or is that?
That I do not know. I think at this point, this is the only picture I was able to find. So
okay. Yeah,
I think they've just put up, like, the Hot Toys puts up like the one teaser pic, and we'll probably have a few more pictures next week or the week after when it goes up for order.
No, it looks cool.
The Mark 7 released on Science Show, but a lot of people are having a little bit of drama. They're getting the Mark 50 when they open their boxes. So, kind of a big deal. I'm not going to wreck Sideshow too bad, because it is the Christmas episode and I want to keep it positive, so I didn't do a grinds my gears. But apparently they're sending labels to have people send them back. I think if you made a big fucking mistake like this, just let the people keep it. Like, it's obviously a mistake, but I think it's just weird. Like, you have to send it to us back to get your figure that you ordered. Like,
yeah, like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You're gonna send me a goddamn prepaid fucking thing if you want this figure back.
Well, that's what they're doing, but still, it's just like, in your case, Dean, if you got this figure, you don't have a car right now, so that puts the onus on you to go out of your way to correct a mistake that this company that makes quite a bit of money has made. I think it's just it would have brought some goodwill, I think, if they just let people keep what they got and still send them the proper item.
Yeah, because it's been what? How many people? I don't know, 4.
It's about 5 or 6 people.
Yeah, it's like, that's not. If it was
y'all motherfuckers send out Sideshow sends out free figures all the time. I think if you make this mistake and it's only a dozen people, let them keep the figure, get some goodwill. I think you're a company that really needs it this year. That is just my opinion. If they sent me this shit, I would not be sending it back. This was a release overseas. It's not coming to the United States at this point, but the Winnie the Pooh Piglet collectible set by Hot Toys, Justin's Collectibles, has a really good review on it. And I got to say, I like the figures. I wish I could have ordered them, and I'm not going to order them from someone overseas. So at some point, if someone has one in the United States for sale, perhaps I'll consider. I know Tim Cent has these available, but
so Sideshow aren't carrying them then?
Not at all. Nope, they never put them up for pre-order.
No,
I inquired, and they basically just said that they,
it's an odd one. I mean, we discussed it on OFAC. It's in terms of what it is, it's great. It looks exactly like it did in the film. The posability looks good and everything, but it's just a very strange tangent, I think. And it's great that Hot Toys do these offshoots.
I don't really mind it. I think Dean had a good point. It's like, this is, if you just want the same Marvel and Star Wars, it just gets boring. This is something different, completely different. This isn't even just like, if they made let's just say a Jaws Quinn figure, that's cool. But this is like a Hot Toys teddy bear. Like,
it's a different market.
It's totally out there. I love it.
Yeah,
I love everything about this. I just really wish we had the chance to order it. I would have used $100 rewards on this last year. Full stop. But it's. I don't know if it just has to do with the licensing, like different companies that sell teddy bears for Winnie the Pooh in this United States. Maybe that's why, but we just did not get the chance to buy that. So that is that. And this is a pretty cool release. The HAL 9000 by Mobius 1:1 scale model kit. Dean, this is it comes with a battery, comes with a lens, comes with a decal. It's like 6 pieces, very easy to build, very easy to paint. I think, knock on wood. and it comes in at about $48. This is pretty cool. I've long looked into 3D printing one of these, but the shape of the lens is very difficult for almost any printer.
Yeah,
And buying the lens is obviously out of the
really
question.
print with clear filament anyway.
Well, it would be like printing it and then casting it in clear resin, but that's just a huge pain in the ass. And to make it like a glass clear like that, that's just, ridiculous. You need vacuum, it's just not possible for me.
Yeah.
Having this at $48 in a kit that takes 3 seconds to put together is really, really cool. And obviously you do need to paint it, but there's a guy on YouTube that has a video where he shows you how to build it and paint it, and he actually painted the production samples for Mobius. And I think this is really exciting. And like I said, my wife, I think, is going to get me this for Christmas.
Oh, cool.
We gotta pick it up still, but I think it just looks really awesome. I'm a huge fan of the film. I almost bought the USB for like $35, which is like a 1/6 scale HAL 9000.
Right.
And I'm so glad I didn't, because for a few bucks more, I can get something I can put on the wall. And I'm just super happy about this. So I will probably buy it. I'll probably build it and paint it on a Joy of Hobbying video, which if you're not familiar, it's just a little bit of a video I do here and there on Thursdays, doing some hobbying and kind of dicking around. And I've done 2 so far, and I think I don't think that they're too bad. I think they get some good reception. So let's talk Custom Corner. Watto's Scrapyard, man, he's been killing it. He's been working with an artist to commission some of these Black Series heads. So he made the Pedro Pascal, the Mandalorian. Let me switch the camera here to this. So he made a Pedro Pascal, the Mandalorian, that I have here that I was painting for the Joy of Hobbying.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it came out pretty good. And then my wife obviously is working on the Second Sister, which is what you see on your screen now. And I just think he does some good work. These are very affordable. I think they're like $15-$16 shipped for a head. And they're zero cleanup. You just pretty much slap some paint on them. And I love it. Dean, I have a Second Sister for you as well that Watto Scrapyard sent. And just dropped it. I was so confused. We talked last night, and I promise I wasn't being difficult, but you were like, you're telling me something. I was like, dude, I have no idea what you're saying. And you had some project you've been working on that's supposed to be top secret and this and that. And are we allowed to know? Are you allowed to tell us what the
only
project?
people that know what it is are Sean and Ian, because he's painting it.
Ooh.
Wow.
And Sean,
I think I know what it is, but I'm not going to say it.
Sean agreed not to release it until I've completed it.
Wait, is it a project for yourself?
Yeah.
Can I? Okay,
I can't think of anybody else who would want one.
Okay, Dean, is it 1 sculpt or 2 sculpts?
It's 2 sculpts of the same person.
Ooh. Wait, okay, so I'm gonna text you right now live.
Okay. I'll tell you if you're right or wrong.
Okay, I'm gonna Facebook message it to you.
Okay.
All right, let's see. I sent the message. Let's see what it is. Am I right?
I haven't gotten it yet.
Am I right? Hurry up. Check.
Nope.
Check. Nope.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Incorrect.
Well, 2 sculpts of the same person.
Yeah.
And you said it's not yourself, right?
No, it's not me.
Can you give us a hint?
What is it? Star Wars Black Series?
No. It'll be 6 scale.
Okay, give us a hint.
It's a real person. Like, it's not a character.
Oh, it's a real person.
Yeah.
Does this person play a character?
No.
So it's like a real historical figure.
I was historical, but sure.
Is it Greta Thunberg?
No, I'm not going to talk.
Kidding. Oh man, Greg says we need Rat Trap. Stop sleeping on my man. Anyway, so that is these are really good. Like I said, $15. Hit up Auto Scrapyard on Instagram, or not Instagram, Facebook.
I will tell you this. I sent reference pictures for the person.
By
By the end of the day and the next morning, the digital sculpt was done.
Wow.
So you paid the guy to sculpt it, or Sean paid the guy?
I guess Sean paid him.
You just forwarded the money.
Yeah, and then he printed them out, and then I paid him for all of it, and it was not expensive because I got 2 sculpts.
Can you
Very different.
Can you tell me if I promise I won't tell anybody?
I'll tell you off air.
Hell yeah, dude! I'm super excited.
Actually,
Yeah, definitely.
Wait, message me now so I can give you my reaction.
and then I'll see if you could. You could. I don't know if you're gonna know who it is, but you could text me your guess.
Okay. Well, let's move forward here while Dean's doing that. We're almost at the conclusion of the Christmas episode. But we had our collecting weekly awards. You can see here we have our nice Millennium Falcon trophy, and Damien surprised the hell out of me. So my criteria was to make a gold C-3PO trophy. And my man Dame surprised me with this, and I was very impressed. It is a proudly displayed in our collection now, and we'll have it for next year if we decide to go with the same trophy. But Greg showed up, Seth, myself, Rainer, Rika, Dean, and then my wife. It was a good show. Yeah. We had some tech issues with our 4th mic, so we had to kind of really manage that situation. We did a mic test beforehand, and it was sounded awful. So, that's just one of the things that happens when you do these podcasts. But we got through it, and Dean, it was funny at about 11:45 at night. That same night, Dean, the power went out for 4 hours, and I was so glad I didn't go out in the middle of the award show. That would have been awful.
No way,
dude! It was out for 5,000 people in our area lost power, and it was very eerie seeing the world without power. But yeah, we got through it. Lots of good awards. Listen to the show. I don't want to announce the winners on the show just yet. I don't want to spoil anyone that hasn't gotten a chance to listen yet, because it's not. We'll talk about it next year. Let's get into the Rise of Skywalker, spoiler free.
Yeah.
We have a spoiler chat, so if you're on auxiliary, click the link and join the spoiler chat.
Before we move into this, let me ask you a question that has to do with people getting the Mark 50. Is that cool?
Wait, say that again?
I said before we get into the movie, can I ask one more collecting related question involving the people getting the Mark 50?
Sure.
Okay. There are instances where people buy a figure from somebody.
You're talking about the legality of having to send something back?
Not legality, but could you use PayPal to say they didn't send me what they said they were going to send me? I dispute the charges, and they let you keep the figure and get you your money back, because that happens all the time.
Probably
when it's not Sideshow.
Probably.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably. I know there is actual laws. If I don't really know how it is, if it's a good faith accident, like in this case, but for example, let's say a company sends you a cable box. No, that's a bad example. Let's say a company sends you something, 2 of the same item, or they I don't really know the exact example, but basically you can never be forced to pay for something you didn't explicitly order, like that exact item.
Right.
I don't know the exact rules about it, but I remember it was a big thing a few years ago where companies would send you something that hey, pay obviously there's clothing services where they'll send you 5 shirts and you pick the ones you want, you send the ones you don't want back. That's different. But if a company sends you something that's hey, you can pay for this or send it back without your approval beforehand, you're not required to pay for those items. Now, obviously, in the case of the Mark 50, where you ordered something and you got something else, I just really don't know. I think, obviously, for Sideshow, losing 5 figures is not a big deal to them. Motherfuckers give out 8 figures a week. Lose 5 figures, get some goodwill, and get the community back on your side.
Yeah.
Instead, they made these people send it back. Dean, I have no idea who this person is. Oh, wait, maybe I do know who this person is. Wait, this is 6 scale?
Yeah, it's going to be.
Okay, and actually, I don't know who this person is. Just let me know who it is. I think I know who it is, but I'm not 100% sure it is.
Okay.
Actually, I think I know what it is. I'm gonna send you the message here. Am I right?
You spelled it wrong, but yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I'm a little offended that you didn't get our us sculpted digitally.
Oh, dude, we should. Although they
Dude.
make a 6-scale body for me.
Yeah, they do. They got the world box, the extra thick. And they got the gang hood Asian for me. Let's think. Well, actually, wait, we didn't even talk about Rise of
It doesn't
Skywalker.
have a beard belly.
That's true. Let's talk Rise of Skywalker spoiler free.
All right, cool.
First, I will say this: I had zero hype, zero expectations, frankly, zero desire to see this film after Episode 8. I went into this theater completely ready to just be excited for next Friday for the next episode of The Mandalorian.
Right.
That was that, when I went into the theater at that point, that was my fallback. Like, worst case, we're going to have a great finale. Goddamn, JJ. You motherfucker, you did it. You fucking did it. He systematically undid a lot of wrongs from episode 8. Made some weird things fit in from episode 8. I was talking to a guy today, went to pick up something from my house, and he was like, oh, this scene makes sense in episode 8. I was like, damn, I did not think about that. So many small things about this film just made it great. So many throwbacks, so many callbacks, righting so many wrongs, even from the original trilogy itself. I know, Dean, you don't like half scores, and I've only seen this movie once. I have picked it apart a little bit in my head in some sort of like a thought experiment type way. And even then, given both the in-universe things they had to deal with and the real-life things they had to deal with Carrie Fisher passing and only having so much material to work with, I think that this film goes down as a top 5 of Star Wars, and I'll take it a step further and say this is an easy 9 out of 10 for me after one viewing and after a lot of discussion and a lot of piecemealing and trying to find small things I didn't like. There was a few very small nitpicks that I had, very small. There's 3, and we'll talk about them on our spoiler talk. But what did you guys think about it? I know you mentioned earlier OFAC has done a spoiler review.
Yeah.
But in a non-spoiler way, let's hear what both of you guys thought about it, and we'll do our own spoiler discussion on for Collecting Weekly in the near future.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I saw it on Thursday, early Thursday. It was quite busy in the theater, and it's good to see it. Spans all ages. Younger kids, there were people in their 70s and stuff that have obviously been fans for a long time. It was a good crowd. It was a good buzz in the theater. It was great.
There was no less than like a dozen moments where I clapped.
Yeah,
it was fantastic.
So I've only seen it once so far. I'm seeing it again on Tuesday morning with the family. So that'll be an opportunity to kind of soak it up a bit more and kind of pay more attention to certain bits, things like that. And as you say, there's a few bits and pieces in there where it was a bit like, I'm not sure about that. But compared to the absolute train wreck of Last Jedi, then brilliant. I mean, I sort of said maybe 7, but I think I'll probably upgrade it to an 8. But as I said to Dean on the other one, I am proper diehard original trilogy, and I would have been. I know it sounds really bad, and Ian would hate me for it, but I would have been happy if they'd never made any other films. But because of that is locked in a untouchable bubble to me. So anything else that's come Star Wars has just been a bonus, and I can take it as it comes, and I don't worry about it ruining my love of the original trilogy. So this was a fun ride. It was a fun movie. There's some great bits in there. I love Chewie, and as much as he's not he's a secondary character really in these movies. He's had some great moments, and particularly in this one, a couple of great moments in this film, and enjoyed that.
Real quick, Dean, before you go, you and I were both very surprised in our chat. Rainer was fortunate enough to go first showing Thursday,
Right.
and you and I both saw it Friday at 10 separately, but we saw it at the same time. And when Rainer got out of the theater, now prefacing this with Rainer is the most critical Star Wars fan that I know.
Oh, yeah, anyone who listens to the show knows.
They knows. And when he got out of the theater, put the Jurassic Park Ian Malcolm son of a bitch, you did it, and he's like, I loved it. It was an 8 out of 10 for me. And it wasn't until that point that
You were gonna.
I had hope that this could be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
PJ put in the comments, zero desire. Yeah, PJ, I've put episode 8 on such a pedestal. We went to the 6 p.m. showing. We had a private screening. We we took a half day from work. Had all sorts of expectations for what I thought the film would be. And perhaps that led into some of my disappointment with the film. I think there is just obviously some bad things about the film, but I had zero excitement because I felt like, I had no excitement for Solo. Went in there, blew my mind.
Yeah.
No idea what to expect for Rogue One. Went in there, blew my mind. Episode 7, I actually really liked it, honestly. But I just didn't want to get too excited and then be disappointed. And so I went in there, and there's a lot of people that complain about this film. They think the first act is too jumbled, that the movie has no clear direction. I think it has a very clear direction. I was talking about this with the collector that came over earlier. And when you go into a James Bond film, there's certain things you can expect. You can expect him to get the girl. You can expect some crazy gadgets. You can expect a James Bond. My name is Bond. James Bond. You can expect like 10 things. And I think for me, the reason why The Last Jedi didn't work is because almost none of those 10 things were in that movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this film is, like a lot of people say, like, oh, this film has no plot, or this plot makes no sense. If you really think about the plot of Return of the Jedi, which is one of my favorite films of all time, like their whole plan to rescue Han is like super, like, doesn't make any sense. Like, it's a very like idealized plan, like 10, 20 things need to go right just to get everyone in a position to do this one crazy ass thing.
Right.
And obviously it works. But that's Star Wars. Like, fucking kid flies a ship for the first time and blows up a droid army. Like, Star Wars is about crazy ass plans that work.
Yeah.
Han and Luke infiltrating a massive star battle station and rescuing a princess. Like, that's just Star Wars. And this film felt so Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
It was beautiful.
It's no time heist, but it's also crazy and convoluted, and it needs to happen.
Yeah. So what did you think about it, Dean?
I mean, first viewing, loved it. I really need to go see it again. Because I had the same feeling of The Last Jedi. Dude, the credits rolled, I loved it. And then by the time I got to the car, I was like, wait a minute. None of that made sense. And then by the time I got home, I was like, man, fuck this movie.
Yeah.
And I think I saw it 2 more times in theaters, and I really was like, yep, no, this movie's fucking hot garbage.
Yeah.
So I need to see this one again, another 2 times or 3. I think I saw The Last Jedi 7 times, or not The Last Jedi,
The Force Awakens.
Yeah. Wow.
So I could definitely see myself saying this, 5, 6 times.
Dude, Dean, we need to see this movie together.
Yes, we absolutely do. Start to finish, it's fun. I had a smile on my face. About halfway through the movie, I was like, holy shit, I've been smiling this whole time, and I was like, I need to start thinking like objectively, otherwise I'm like brainwashed.
Yeah, and I felt the same way. And there's just I don't know if this is like a I don't know if I want to say this. I don't know if this is a huge spoiler. So I guess at this point, maybe potentially small minor spoilers. So again, if you're listening to this live and you haven't seen it, extremely minor spoilers. I really wish Hayden Christensen received a lot of backlash. Frankly, I think unnecessary for his role in episode 2 and episode 3.
Mhm.
And obviously he was kind of shoehorned in as a Force Ghost in the like re-release of episode 6. I really would have liked to have seen Hayden Christensen appear as a Force Ghost at some point in this film, like physically in person.
Mhm. Yeah.
Or not in person, but as a ghost. I think that would have righted some wrong. And there's a lot of people like there was a blog that put it really well. They said like, if you love The Last Jedi, you're gonna hate The Rise of Skywalker. But if you hated The Last Jedi, you're gonna love, and I feel like that's a perfect way to put it, because
Yeah.
I think the Last Jedi, for better or for worse, in my opinion, for worse, did try to separate the franchise from some of those tropes, and I don't think that it worked as well as intended. Rian Johnson's a really good director. I think Knives Out is in a lot of circles considered to be the best film released this year, just in terms of fun and whatever. He's not a bad director. I think he made some choices that I just didn't agree with, but I just really love this movie. Like, I left the theater like, I need to get a Rey, I need to get a Force Awakens Stormtrooper, and I need to get Kylo. Like, and I've not felt that, since The Last Jedi. When Force Awakens came out, I got a Kylo, but I think a lot of things that even some people had some issues with The Force Awakens. I think Rey is not a total Mary Sue, quote unquote.
Yeah,
there's a lot of very powerful female characters in this film that are done exactly right. Not that there's also male characters that have flaws that feel right. No one feels God mode. There's references made to things in past films. I just I think that this movie perhaps could have been shot a little better had the real life event of Carrie Fisher passing not taken place, because obviously they didn't kill her off in 8. And I think they'd already shot so much of the film that they couldn't really do that. I think that's what they said.
Right.
And I think that some of the scenes that are a little awkward are the ones with her in it, because they said they weren't going to CGI her to finish the role flat out, that they had 8 minutes of footage that they were going to rework and re-dialogue, and I think maybe even redub to fit into the plot. But I just think if you can ignore that fact, I think it really worked. And I think it was Chris Stuckman, the movie reviewer, said that in 30 years, when people watch this film, maybe not everyone who knew that she passed away before this film will know that she was not. Like, it'll flow really well as time separates it from this.
Yeah, they did a good job.
And I just think it's incredible that they were able to make a semi-coherent story with the real life circumstances, while also having to undo some things from the previous film. There's a few other small nitpicks that I had. And I think those are probably in the territory of maybe like, mini to major spoilers. So I won't really get into those, but I just really wanted to say, I just really wish Hayden Christensen was, because there was a lot of rumors that he was filming scenes for 8 and 9, and flying out to different locations and working with different people.
Yeah, I think from my point of view, when The Force Awakens came out, it had a bit of an easier ride because it had a massive wave of nostalgia behind it. We knew
Yeah,
that the original, Han, Leia, and Luke. Well, we thought Luke would be in it. He obviously was only in it for mere seconds at the end, but
yeah,
and I did go into that kind of really um sort of open-minded, and obviously like the first time I saw the Falcon, I had goosebumps and stuff, and there
oh,
was a lot of
fantastic way to introduce the Falcon.
yeah, definitely. And obviously when Han and Chewie step on board, it was great. And I think
Yeah,
it was a bit of a rehash of A New Hope, but it was a fun movie. It had, and it just, I think it had a bit of a not a free pass, but it had an easier market to launch into. Then
yeah,
with the Last Jedi, that really had to work as a quality film. And from my point of view, it basically completely destroyed the main character of
yeah,
the Star Wars trilogy, a character we'd all grown up with, loved to be, wanted to be, aspired to, that kind of thing, and then turned him into a complete arse, really. And
yeah,
yeah, and obviously we know that Mark Hamill really wasn't happy with how that was written himself.
yeah,
And obviously, without going into any spoilers, they there's things that they've corrected. They've given that character an opportunity to kind of redeem himself a little bit.
yeah.
Which is good.
And the thing that kind of bums me is I think the original, not the original, but the big three actors in this film, Poe, Daisy, and Finn,
Hmm.
they've said that like this movie left open a lot of not a lot of but some questions.
Yeah.
And they've said that they do not want to come back. Like they're done with Star Wars. They don't want to come back in another
Yeah.
movie. They don't want to come back in Disney Plus,
No.
a TV show, and just especially Ray's ending is so amazing.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Before this, I was happy for this to be the end, and after this movie, I want to see more of what happens to these characters and these people. And I guess it's kind of just like, where does Star Wars go from here? I guess there's some characters that need some backstory filled in.
Hmm.
I don't know if the next trilogy will be hundreds of years in the future where all the characters we know have gone. I certainly hope that if we get another trilogy, it's not just like, oh, the bad guys are back, because I feel like that's kind of played out at this point, though I think any film does need some bad guys. I know there's a lot of unknown region threats that the books have been building up that we obviously got to see some of that in this film, but not like the Yuzong Vong, like, not those type of beings. These were all just humans. I'm just very interested because, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the last film that they've announced for Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. They have the Obi-Wan. No, that's a show.
That's a
That's
TV show. Yeah. Yeah. There's no more movies that are
So I'll be interested to
scheduled.
see if Rian Johnson does get a trilogy still. I know they've kind of walked that back a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll be shocked if they do.
Yeah.
I mean, look what they did with the guys from Game of Thrones, because they got
Yeah, Dean, you
Yeah.
mentioned this in our spoiler chat, and this isn't really a spoiler, but you were not a fan of some of the Force abilities that were shown in this film. And I guess I want to pose an alternative to what you had said. There were some things in this film that were carryovers from The Last Jedi, like Force Skype, and maybe taking them in a deeper direction.
Only Fools and Collecting spoiler cast.
Uh-huh.
I said I really enjoyed how they used it in this movie.
They used it so
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
But they really, if you take what they did in this film, they really built it up in The Last Jedi, because at first they could see each other, then then Kylo's hand was wet, and then things started progressing, and this film takes it further.
Right.
But I guess my counterpoint, I guess maybe if you have a different train of thought, but you were saying that the Force was kind of like, what do you say, like a McGrubbin or something like that? MacGuffin.
Yeah,
because I think this goes back to what you had said quite a few times. The Force, we saw some powers in the original trilogy, And then in the prequel trilogy, most of those powers are the same. We kind of learned like, hey, if you're dark side, you might be able to keep people from dying, but we never actually saw it. There was some, I guess, like maybe there was one or two new things. I can't exactly remember off the top of my head, but I don't mind them adding stuff. And I think one of your quotes, Dean, really resonates is like, I don't need to see the same shit over and over again. Like, I don't mind if they add a force power too, because the expanded universe has quite a few force powers we've never seen in the films. Force, there's different. I don't want to get into specifics, but there's lots of powers that we've seen.
Powers they use that they never use again.
That is true.
Like at the very beginning of episode 1, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn used Force Run to get out of the
yeah.
And it's like, why didn't they use that when they're fighting Darth Maul to get past all those doors, those laser doors?
Yeah.
Just and fucking kick his ass. But it's like, it's a MacGuffin. It's like whatever they need when they need it, and then it was like, oh, we totally forgot.
Yeah, but even if you think like in the original trilogy, it's like, hey, I'm gonna make this scary noise. I'm gonna use the Force to make these Tusken Raider calls, or shit, we don't have ID. Oh, you don't need to see his ID. Like the Force is always like, oh fuck, I crash landed my X-wing. Oh, don't worry, we can actually pick up this big ass X-wing with the Force. Like the Force has always been that thing. Like, for example, Luke knowing that his friends are in distress, like that's a purely plot device forced thing. So I don't mind it, honestly.
I mean,
well, obviously, I think Obi-Wan showed it, like, oh, you can feel this in the Force, the tremor, whatever. But you know what I mean? Like the Force can and has always been this thing. Like even in Rogue One, like when Donnie Yen's character needs to go through hail of bullets from some top trained Imperial soldiers and press this button, the Force allows him to do that because that's the Force and that's how it works. I just really didn't mind it. I really like this film. 9 out of 10 for me. Real quick, let's
I'm just saying, like, it is what it is. It's just
it's just a thing. We'll end this with Dean and Pete. What is your out of 10 score? And then we'll cut it to a pre-recorded segment that we've done.
I'll go with an 8. And solid 8.
I'm gonna go with an 8 only because the problems from The Last Jedi forced them to make some weird choices. Otherwise, this could have been a 10 out of 10.
Okay, well, that's high praise.
Well, yeah.
Well, like I mentioned, we have a pre-recorded bit of content from Tuesday before the award show. Rainer, because of the accident, never got to share his story about going to Galaxy's Edge. So enjoy this story. And from myself and all the Collecting Weekly crew, I'd like to wish all of you guys a happy Christmas, a happy Hanukkah, a happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, or even if you don't, we hope you have a happy holiday season. Hopefully you get some cool toys. This is our last recording other than the spoiler chat until January 7th, I think, which is Tuesday, the first Tuesday in January. Second Tuesday in January, sorry. We're actually taking the first off as well. So we will see you guys in about 25 days or so. And we hope that you guys have a good time and you enjoy our Christmas episode, which is this, obviously. And then Seth has been working hard to put together a best of the year clip of all of our funniest moments. So we hope you enjoy both of those. We've pre-screened a little bit of it, and it's quite good. Lots of good moments there. Definitely some good moments. Leslie Cutts, of course, made the cut, but I'm Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Pete.
Catch you guys in 2020.
Bye.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. Was this Pete's first time on the Collecting Weekly main show?
I think it
No.
was. No,
we did the
because we did
Brits Are Coming. That was the first.
we did like 2 episodes of Collecting Weekly